Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Sports Show Live, where we have a crystal ball and we are going to choose the best picks for your fantasy lineups. And we got them all here, folks. We got a fantastic show. We're talking quarterbacks. We're going to get right into it with the big question. Is it Daniels or is it Caleb freaking Williams? Hello.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Caleb Williams. He's just a generational prospect. I feel like people are underestimating him for not winning all the big games his last year, but he can do it all. He's got comparisons to Aaron Rodgers. For me, he's walking into what is probably the greatest rookie quarterback situation ever. First time being paired with a top 10 wide receiver as well. That's never happened before. Williams is just set up for instant success. I like everything that he does. He's just by far the safety of him is why he's my number one quarterback.
Yeah, it's Caleb for me as well. In Dynasty football, I like to get the face of my franchise, a guy that I'm going to be able to lean on for years and years. And I think that Caleb Williams, we could be still talking about him in 10, 15 years. And he can run. He had 3 runs of 45 plus yards in college. So we know that he is capable of running a little bit.
And then for me, it's absolutely Jayden Daniels. I mean, he won the Heisman, 40 passing touchdowns, just 4 interception. And this guy has some wheels. He is faster than Justin Fields. So now you take a guy that can throw the ball and he can run the ball and you combine them in the same person. And that's a Konami code quarterback. That's who you want in your starting lineups in fantasy football. So give me all the Jayden Daniels you can get. I absolutely love him.
As a Commanders fan, I agree 100%. Jayden Daniels is a combination of Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Commanders bias aside, though, give me Caleb Williams because you just don't get, generational talents like this every year. I love the Aaron Rodgers comparison, a little bit of Patrick Mahomes, safe pick with a lot of upside.
And when you compare the two, Zach, who do you see with higher upside this year? Who has the higher ceiling? Is it Williams or is it Daniels?
Well, this season is Daniels, and in any single one season is Daniels. But I do think Daniels is riskier. For one thing, the organization he's playing for doesn't exactly have the best track record at developing quarterback talent. Not to mention, we just haven't seen it from him as long as we have Caleb Williams. So the safety is Caleb Williams.
And to
a little riskier, but more upside, Jayden Daniels.
I mean, the Bears organization doesn't have the best track history with quarterbacks
either,
putting that out there.
Point.
So when I see Caleb Williams as a quarterback in college watching that tape, he could run around for 5 or 6 seconds, find that open guy. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that in the structure of the NFL when you have the best edge rushers coming at you. Are they going to be able to let this guy run around? Because if they do that, he's going to do the same thing he did in college. But I don't think he's going to get the time. I don't think he's going to be able to be that pocket passer that they need him to be.
All right, guys. This is crazy. I just got this. I'm sorry I cut you off there, Marcus, but I just got this text. It's from Ivan Rappaport and JJ McCarthy. It's a dad. It's a group text, but it looks like there's I can't believe this. It just came into a group text. But it looks like there's been a breaking news and he's out for the season with the torn meniscus. What do we think?
JJ McCarthy is out for the year.
That's what his dad and Ivan are saying.
Horrible.
Oh man,
he looks good in the preseason, man. Could be a blessing though. Really, I mean, it gives him a year to learn and really develop. And the pressure of will he replace Darnold that can be put on hold for a year. So that might be a good less distraction for him.
So should other quarterbacks tear their meniscuses as well?
I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to see optimistically to say like it might be good for him, but obviously it's just not fair situation.
And from a fantasy standpoint, sure. How far down, how much of a hit does he take for this in your dynasty drafts?
Rankings wise, he stays at number 4 for me. I mean, I had him behind Drake Maye anyway. The only difference is that gap widens and then the gap to Penix shrinks.
I had McCarthy 3rd. I'm bumping him down to 4th behind Drake Maye now.
I 100% won't be drafting him. I'm going to be taking Drake Maye. I'm going to be taking Bo Nix. I'm going to be taking Michael Penix over JJ McCarthy with this news.
For me, he's still going to be in fourth, and I probably am going to send out a couple of feelers to the McCarthy owners just to see what their quarterback situation is. Could be a potential buy low opportunity because I did think he looked good in his first preseason game, to make me feel like he's still my number 4.
So it sounds like Drake May is probably everybody's number 3, and then maybe McCarthy's 4, maybe a little lower for you, Eric. But then it comes down to Penix and Nix. Who do you like between those two?
I 100% love Michael Penix. When I watched this guy in college, his ability to get through his progressions is elite level. I mean, we don't see this all the time. I thought he had potential to be the quarterback 1 of this entire draft class. And I think Atlanta absolutely loved him. I do not think they even thought he had a chance of being available at their pick. They paid Kirk Cousins all the money. And when they drafted him, everyone thought they're absolutely crazy. That's insane. But as it's played out, people are more and more accepting of that pick. And I just think he has wheels up for Michael Penix. As soon as he gets that opportunity, wheels up, because I don't think this guy is going to fail. I think his ability to read a defense and see single high safety and just make his progressions through those picks. And I think he's got a real chance to be an elite level quarterback in the NFL.
I agree 100%. And to me, it's very similar to the Jordan Love situation, where Love had a couple years to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, and Penix is going to get that same opportunity with Kirk Cousins, and then walk into what I believe is going to be a very good situation with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. So you're going to have to be a little patient, but I think it'll be well worth the wait.
Yeah, I like Penix. He's my 5th as well. And the gap between him and McCarthy has narrowed quite a bit for me. They're actually in similar situations now, because now you're going to have to be patient with both of them. I do believe there's a pretty high probability that Cousins plays well, the Falcons wins games, the offense does well, and we may not see Penix step onto the field for 2 or 3 years, and you are going to have to wait. And it's also worth noting that he is already 24 years old.
I'm not worried about that at all for a quarterback.
I do see a world where we could see Michael Penix sooner than the next year or 2. That's how most people think it's going to be a couple of years. But this is a gladiator sport. Kirk Cousins breaks a finger. Kirk Cousins has an injury. And then Michael Penix sees the field. Once he sees the field, he's going to be able to capitalize, because that's just what he does. He wins. He's a winner. He's brought good receivers into this league. Rome Odunze, Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan. He's brought some really good receivers into this league, and I think that he has helped make those receivers. So once he gets the opportunity on that offense, I think it's wheels up.
For me, I'm going to still take Bo Nix. I think he looked really good in his first preseason game. I think it's a good fit in Sean. In the offense there with Denver, they drafted Troy Franklin. I think they want him to. They're setting him up for success. And with Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins he's never missed a game. Maybe missed a game with COVID, but besides that, never missed a game with injury. There's no reason for me to believe that Kirk Cousins is all of a sudden going to be injury prone. Vegas is really believing in the Falcons. They're the favorite to win the division. As long as they're competitive, Kirk Cousins is going to be the starting quarterback. And I expect him to be very good this year with the offensive weapons around him. So I do think Michael Penix has the talent when he does get an opportunity. I just think that opportunity is 2 years away, and he will be a little bit older. There could be a little bit of a Jordan Love situation if you are really patient. So definitely don't take Penix if you're not going to wait. But I feel like in the middle of the season, you might be able to buy Penix for cheaper than what he's costing now, especially if he's gone to an impatient owner. So that's where I'd be looking to acquire Penix, is in the middle of the season if the Falcons are doing well and you can get a good deal.
So it sounds like Michael Penix will be coming into a starting role about the same time Bo Nix will be exiting one. Would that be fair to say?
That could happen, sure. I'm not saying Bo Nix is by any means a sure thing. I'm just saying when I'm on the clock and I have to have a quarterback and I'm desperate, I'm going to want the guy that's going to see the field and not try to tank my team for a couple more years.
Yeah, if you need a quarterback now, I mean, you should not draft Penix.
I just think Nix is walking into a pretty bad situation. Not a whole lot of options on that Denver offense, and just a little worried about him getting off to a rocky start there.
Yeah, I just don't see Bo Nix as that hammer that you want to put in your starting lineup, even if he has a full-time role as a starter. I don't think he's got the upside of some of these other guys. That being said, is there any quarterbacks that you guys feel are worth a late round flyer in the 5th round of these dynasty rookie drafts, or maybe later on in the startup drafts, that you think's got some real upsides later on down the road?
Well, for me, probably Spencer Rattler. I don't know if he's fallen to the 5th round, but definitely at the end of the 3rd round he's there. And anytime in the 4th round, I think he's worth a gamble just from a pure opportunity standpoint.
Yeah, I would agree with Spencer Rattler. We see it happen where in Superflex leagues, a quarterback who nobody is expecting to take the starting role all of a sudden does, and their value increases dramatically, usually more than any other position that we see in those rounds. So 4th round, and I've even seen him go in the 5th round of some leagues. For sure, Spencer Rattler. After that, it's probably people that you're just going to be spending your free agent bucks on during the season because nobody saw it coming. Not anybody I'd want to be clogging my roster with right now.
I'm fine sweeping up some Spencer Rattler in the 5th round, but my goal would be to trade them away as soon as he gets the chance to start, because he's also somebody that I do not want in my starting lineup as a quarterback. I want hammers in those lineups. I want people that's going to score points, and I do not see that as Spencer Rattler. I'm going to let him be somebody else's problem. I'll let him sit on my roster and accrue value and get rid of him at that point.
Yeah, well, we all don't have, 3 or 4 first-round picks to draft Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels.
Eric
Well,
wants
that's
a team of studs, nothing but the best.
That's all. I want hammers. I want hammers in
I
my
mean,
starting lineups.
If I can get Spencer Rattler for a year or two as a starter, just as my QB3 in a Superflex league, that's a win for me in the 4th round of a rookie draft.
And he's a dart throw. Any quarterback who steps on the field has a shot. He'll have a shot. I think he'll get that shot this year.
I agree.
Dare I say, how about those crystal ball picks, everyone? What are we thinking? Who are you taking no matter what?
I will. I don't want to leave a draft without Jayden Daniels, so I would say he's my crystal ball pick. But an honorable nominee, Michael Penix, I absolutely want him in the 2nd round of all my drafts as well.
To me, my crystal ball pick is Caleb Williams. You just don't get an opportunity to draft a generational level talent like this every year. So if I have the 1-1, easy pick, lock in my future quarterback for 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, same for me. There's no way I'm passing on Caleb if I have the first pick.
Yeah. And I'll keep the chalk going here. It'd be Caleb Williams for me. I think that people are underestimating Caleb Williams a little bit. You might be able to acquire him a little bit
Doesn't
cheap
sound
depending
like
on
it.
your league. Well, I was offered a late
Here we're
first
not.
and Dalton Kincaid for Caleb Williams. So obviously
really?
our group is liking Caleb Williams, but I think the consensus out there, a lot of people just don't think Caleb Williams is the guy for some reason, and I think that's a mistake.
Well, I got the next crystal ball pick right here. It's a little bit counter, but I'm going to go with my guy, Michael Pratt, Tulane University, slinging darts against Mr. Williams. Down, what are we down here? Down 15 with 4 minutes to go. Takes some real cojones, as Coach Brown would say, to come back from this deficit. Just an absolute killer. No doubt about it. Michael Pratt, crystal ball pick.
Yeah, future XFL MVP right there, Michael Pratt.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for watching this show. Remember to comment, smash that like button, subscribe, and enjoy these tunes. What?